So let's talk about how I was able to make $27,000 today trading options in the stock market. Now, that is equivalent to over 100% profit. I'm sitting here in Florida, gonna get a little tan here, so let's try to make this quick. Probably get burnt instead of tan, let's be honest. So overall, had about 25,000 in this trade. You can see here my adjusted cost and my gross P&L was 27K, equivalent to that 108% return. So essentially how I go about trading and how I figure out what stock to trade and what direction I'm going to bet on that specific stock going is going to be my software. So if I open up my software, you can see here at 10:28, my software sent through the CVNA calls. Now, when those came through, CVNA was trading at 197.16 per share. Okay, that was the share price. And these specific contracts were the 197.50 strike, expiring 3/7/25. Okay, so 3 days to expiration. That is why these obviously did move quite a lot. You can see here, essentially I got an entry within about 5 minutes of that order coming through on my software. So 10:28 was when the order came through on my software, and I got filled at 10:31. Okay, you can see here the entry right there and the contracts that I bought. Okay, and let's open up this chart. I'll zoom out a bit. I did a really good job at this trade, with sticking to my plan. So my plan was to sell at 212 a share. Okay, you can see I got filled down here at 198 a share. Yes, CVNA did continue trading to the upside throughout the entire day. Could have made about twice as much as I did, but I stuck to my plan. I got in with full size and I got out with full size. I talked about this on the last trade. This is something I'm becoming more comfortable with, is trading in relative larger size compared to the volatility we get behind these very close 0, 1, 2, or 3 DTE option contracts. So being able to experience volatility where on a 1-minute candle I'm seeing moves of $5,000 to $10,000 being up and down that much on my position is something I'm still being comfortable or becoming comfortable with, right? So being able to follow my plan, get out at full size there, just under 212, instead of starting to kind of panic sell, maybe even in this area, when it looks like things did start to die out after that nice push on CVNA. Right here is when I could have started to become a little more hesitant, and if I let emotion take over, maybe I would have started selling off my position there, but I was able to follow my trade plan. That's going to be the biggest thing here with this trade and how it did play out. You can see my executions, right? Like I said, I came in with that one order, buying up 34 contracts. You can see my average entry was 736 and my average exit was 1535. So sorry, I got filled on 2 separate orders for the entry. So 13 and 21, sometimes that does happen, right? Because we're actually buying or selling these contracts to someone. So it looks like when I said, hey, I wanted to, I obviously put my order out there in the market, my order to get filled, and that was a limit order at 736. I did have one person sell me 21 and another person sell me 13. So that's not uncommon to see that happen, and those fills would have been at the same exact time, but they just got filled in 2 separate size lots. And then my exit did get filled all at once. I had someone who essentially bought those contracts from me and paid me that 27,166, right? So we're looking at obviously this is going to be the net P&L, which is going to account for the broker fees and commissions, which was only about 46 bucks, right? Because there were only 34 option contracts that I did trade. Now, based off your broker, sometimes, your broker will charge you upwards of $1 to trade one contract. So mine charges me 60 cents. If we look at the charts running P&L, scroll down here. So look at this. We really didn't see a whole lot up until just about 12 o'clock. So off the open was up about 3,000, pulled back to only being down up about 1,000, pushed to being up about 4,600, pulled back to being up about 2,400, then had this really nice push up to 8, pulled back to 6, and then had this very strong push up to 20, and then I was able to lock in profit at the highest point of the day that these contracts traded at, from when I entered to when I exited. showing you that I did follow my plan to a T, right? If, the highest point of the day these contracts traded at was back here and I locked in profit down here, like you might have seen in my last trade recap, then that just would have meant I didn't follow my plan, right? So after this first initial push, this added about 20K to the P&L, and then this second push, got me to that TP. And so I'm actually figuring out where my stop loss and take profit are based off this algorithm. This algorithm that I have, I just apply to my chart, and it gives me a stop loss and take profit based off the share price. And then for me, it's just about following that plan, sticking with that plan, and getting out accordingly. So entry was at 1031, exit was at 1308. So very clean trade overall for a nice $27,000 on the day. Now, if you're interested in finding some success trading options, in learning how to trade, in following along, copying all my trades, trading live with me every single morning, I do have a mentorship, which I will link in the description below. You can go ahead and you can join there. All right, super excited for next week. Let's see what happens.